My name is OKAFOR. I am from Umuanee, in Umuanee Autonomous Community. I am the fifth child out of the 10 children of Elder Benjamin OKAFOR, popularly known as Benu Ayao. I was born in November 1974, 17th to be precise. I attended my primary school in Community Primary School of Bagbozala between 1981 and 1986, and thereafter I had to move back to Benin to join my family, where I started my secondary school. I attended a Dokpolo Grammar School between 1986 and 1993. I completed my secondary school in Dokpolo Grammar School in 1993. I cleared my WAEC and I made my JAMB. But unfortunately, I couldn't further my university then because of some economic issues in my family. The very year I graduated from secondary school, my eldest brother, although late now, Barrister Moses OKAFOR, may his soul rest in peace, equally had the opportunity to further his education. He got an admission to study law in the University of Benin, known previously as Ambusali University. So there was an agreement, there was a consensus in the family that I had to step down for him as the eldest, so I couldn't further my education thereafter. I had to join my uncle in his poultry farm then at Upper Sakpamba Road, where we are into piggery, pig business, buying and selling of pigs and supplies. From there, I had the opportunity to venture into selling of fairly used clothes. I started with selling of fairly used clothes. Then I used to travel to Cotonou to go and buy some okrika, female clothes. And from then, I went into selling the brand new clothes to women, and thereafter I got myself into foreign exchange. Yeah, I met one of my good friend, Oyibai, Watawachiku Ekenta Agezu Wachiku. Then he was on a Mehe Burundi change. So, but she and I after meeting, so Oyibai in business, like I wish I can get involved in it. Also, well, no so bad. Here was our business. I in a maybe now. If I have the intention, the wills to go into foreign exchange, and I have the capital, that I can just come and start it on my own. So that was how I ventured into Burundi change business around 1996 or thereabout. We started by acquiring the license Ricky Burundi change in 1998, and thereafter we measured into the business fully. I have a life partner, a friend, a confidant, and someone I can only call my friend. As a matter of fact, he's my best friend. That is my immediate elder brother, Anthony OKAFOR, and we have been partners for life. We do practically everything in common, apart from having different wives, Both of us were able to team up and establish a lot of businesses, and practically today we are the joint owner of Heartbreak Hotels Limited, which is one of, could be counted among the 10 major hotels in Enugu here, situated at 26 Umezebi Street, New Haven, Enugu. It was around 2013, to be precise, between 2013-14, Umuanee Ozara Autonomous Community had a serious issue. There was a big division among us, and the family was divided. And God used a honorable man, ICHIE Okofianankanu, to assemble some team of Umuanee young men. Initially there were 9 of them, and I made it 10. We embarked on the process of reconciliation. Umuanee has been in a serious quagmire for over 9 years. Then we're having the likes of Obukenago and the likes of Oya and Oha. But then, when Chanike approached me to become a member, I gladly accepted, and we embarked on that voyage of reconciliation. And to the glory of God, we succeeded in that plan, and Umuanee was united, and the ceremony was performed in that effect, which I contributed in the sponsorship of that ceremony. Sometime in 2016-17, His Royal Highness Igwe OKAFOR invited me to his palace. I was shocked the day he called me, and when I answered his call, he said, "Do I know who is calling?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "It's His Royal Highness Igwe OKAFOR Chinaweze, one of Ozala, and Ane, one of Ane, that I should come to his palace." I quickly rushed to his palace, and he brought out a letter and handed it over to me and asked me to read it. When I glanced through the letter, it was an appointment to become a cabinet member of Umuanee Ozala Autonomous Community Cabinet Chiefs. Having gone through the letter, I have to breathe down and breathe up. I said, please, before I go further on this, I have to make a call. And I had to call my eldest brother, Barrister Okafor Moses, and told him that this is a letter I have just received. What do I do? He said, he used to call me my kid brother. Go ahead and accept it. You merited it. That is why it's been offered to you. Then I had to come back to the Igwe and graciously accepted to be a member of his cabinet. And that was the beginning of my involvement in the Umuanee affairs as the youngest to know. Then I was barely 40, and that was the journey, and that was where it started. My traditional title, Ikeoha, was conferred on me by His Royal Highness Igwe OKAFOR. It was a name that was given to me in the dream. It may sound funny, but somehow then during his first ofala, everybody was looking for a name too, because I've never beared any title or any chief title before then, and I had to make a lot of consultation, and finally it boiled down to bear that name, Ikeoha. As a matter of fact, the person that gave me a clue to that name is Barrister Umuanee. I must give respect to those who respect is due. He's the one that said I should go for that name, that it has a similarity with the name I'm bearing, and that was how Ikeoha was bettered. See, leadership is not a rocket science, but it requires getting involved and participate. My definition of our leadership is the ability to rule, ability to take charge, ability to conduct yourself, ability to guide your people and guide whomever you are leading. So it is not really a rocket science, as I've initially said, but at the same time, it is not a tea party. It is something that you have to gradually get yourself involved and know the rudiments, the initial process. It's not something you just come from nowhere and jump into and said you want to become a leader. Let me give you an example. When Ozara Forum was formed in 2016, I remember then when we were all there chatting and always discussing, I have made several attempts to move a motion in that Ozara Forum, but at every time, the admin then that we funnily called Admin Chair Pipi Kanambo, Dan Wome, he has knocked out so many of my motions on technicalities and not properly presented. But the very first time one of my motion, was it about a birthday celebration in Ozala Forum, was officially accepted and adopted. It was celebrated. It was called for a party, because I have failed in several attempts to move a motion. But Alex, guess what? I can tell you today that this same young man that made several attempts to move a motion is now the longest serving administrator in Ozala Forum. I served 3 years as an admin. I'm in my next year I'll be rounding off as the chief administrator of the Reverend Ozala Forum, all total making it 7 years as a leader in Ozala Forum. So what am I not trying to say? Leadership requires a process. It's not something you just wake up from nowhere and go into. There are a lot of things that you need to get. It's like a journey of 1,000 miles that starts with a step. You need to get yourself involved. You need to have the wherewithal. You need to have the capacity, the competence, and the character to be able to lead. And you have to have that temperament to tolerate the people you are leading. And you should always, at every time, to lead from the front. This is something I acquired from my mentor, Barrister Umuanee. If you want to be a good leader, always make yourself available for your people to assess you. If you are not an accessible leader, then you are not a leader. I want to start with trying to clarify some concepts and conceptions people has been making erroneously. You see, there's a broader difference between being a philanthropist and being a community developer. Community development is quite different from charity giving. You understand? Both of them are quite good, don't get me wrong, you know. But there's a difference. Me, a community developer, invest in the community than being a philanthropist. Mgbe ọbụla ị na-enye ndị mmadụ ego, mgbe ọbụla ị na-apịa ndị mmadụ ihe a na-eri eri, mgbe ọbụla ị na-akwụrụ ndị mmadụ ụgwọ school fees, ụgwọ hospital bills, and doing all sort of things, you know, to keep the community going. Those things are quite very okay, but for me, I am practically involved in both of them. But I really want to make a clear-cut distinction between charity giving, philanthropist, and community development. The question you asked about community development, the first thing that comes into my mind is selfless service to the community. How you can give back to the community that have done so much for you and for all of us. I can tell you that I have been deeply involved in community development, even in Ozala, but I have to slow it down to that of Umuanee, where I have done my bits in empowering our people. Now, for instance, around 2022, when my very good friend and brother, a barrister at the United States of America, Obikamanu, came visiting, both of us were just strolling around one evening, and we went to our community primary school, which is IKEA, and when we saw the dilapidated nature of one of the classroom block, and both of us felt very bad, and we said this cannot be happening in our community. There and there, both of us decided that we had to put our heads together and see how we can modernize that building and give it a facelift. And that building was holistically done by both of us at the tune of almost 20 million naira. That is community development. Some time ago, the transformer that is supplying light to about 6 villages of Umuanee was vandalized. Our people was kept in darkness for 2 years. And what did I do? For over 2 years, I had to look for a means of trying to get a transformer, because the transformer was vandalized and removed. So I had the intention of buying a brand new transformer. I was at the verge of doing that when my brother, Tochukwude, the Honorable Commissioner for Justice, informed me that the application he has made so far to Enugu State Government to replace the transformer has just been approved, that I should hold on in purchasing that transformer, that he will be of the opinion that the money that I was meant to use in purchasing that transformer should be used for logistics and the installation of that transformer, which is not far-fetched from the cost of getting a brand new transformer, and I did that. I listened to him. The approval came, went to Enugu State and did all the logistics, get the cables, get the manpower, get all the necessary amenities to install that transformer. And after that transformer was installed, we had lights to celebrate the last festive period. And we were giving lights for like 2 weeks or thereabout before I finally asked the NEPA people to remove the lights so that we could take care of the outstanding bills, which amounted to about 26 million naira then. We had to go into serious negotiation with the EEDC officials, and after much dialogue, after much back and forth, we got a discount and the price was reduced to about 18 million naira. Unfortunately, our other brothers, the Obagu brothers, the of Umuanee, Umuoya, and Umuowo, that were equally involved in the usage, we are able to get us about 5 million naira, which they themselves has consumed, while the other Umuanee autonomous community made up of Umago, Umuobuke, Umuoyane, Umuchukwu, Umuhu, and Umungenobo, about 6 of us have incurred a debt of 13 million naira. I have to clear that money, Alex. I have to pay that money. Yes, I did. I paid that 13 million on behalf of my community. Why did I do that? I know that if we have to allow the old style of giving us an estimated bill, these people will keep coming to disconnect the community every now and then, and the vandals will have the opportunity to vandalize the transformer every now and then. So I had to pay that money, and I've initiated the process of metering, which they have come for enumerations and getting the ID cards of interested persons so that they will come and debunk the community, and each and every one of us will have a meter in our house, and it will not be pay as you go. As soon as you run out of card, you go and get your card from the EEDC, and life goes on. So you can see that these are some of the things I told you about community development, which is completely different from charity giving, like giving food, paying hospital bills, doing all sorts of things. And like I told you, those are very, very important in community, but then it is quite different from infrastructures and things that will benefit us, not just today, but years to come for the community. Before 2016 that I met His Royalness Igwe Christian OKAFOR, and he inducted me into the sacred cabinet member. I was a semi-introvert. I could tell you that I was a private person. I hardly get involved in anything that brings me out, you know. And the advent of Ozara Forum in 2016 was another turning point in my life and my kind of person. Barrister Umuanee did not even help issue, because he's always on my neck, dragging me into one community and one involvement and program and assignment thereabout. So when I met His Royal Highness, I want to tell you this. I don't think I've ever discussed it with anybody, but I had to say it today. While both of us were chatting and discussing, talking about ourselves and things we have done, after our discussion, Igwe told me that he will now quietly rest in peace when his ancestors called him, that he will be glad that his community will be in a safe hand, and he has gotten a worthy successor. Yes, that was when the intention, the seed was sowed. That was when I deeply became involved and in community, in the chieftaincy's affairs, and somewhere along the line when the late Onowu, may his soul rest in peace, ICHIE Matthew Ago became incapacitated. I was made his deputy Onowu to deputize him in functioning on behalf of the Igwe and the Onowu, and I have been doing that for some years now, like over 2 years, and when both of them graciously left this world, I became the substantive Onowu based on unanimous agreement by the cabinet chiefs, who agreed among themselves that nature's above a vacuum, and I was made the substantive Onowu. So that was where the entire idea was done on me, that I know I can do this job very well, and I trust the people of Umuanee that they will gladly accept me to step into that big shoe, which I, for every day, see it as a continuity from the previous leadership of His Royal Highness Igwe OKAFOR, which we intended to improve from. Thank you. I want to state it categorically. Yes, the Umuanee people are very proud people. They are people with rich culture. They are people that have the mind of their own. They are people that know what they want to do. Story has it that nobody has ever come to Umuanee to settle any disputes. Instead, it's we, the Umuanee, that goes to people to settle their dispute for them. So the community is made up of intelligent men that can differentiate the good from the bad. They are people that are wise enough to take their destiny into their hands. And I am proud to be a son of Umuanee. And I have offered myself for service because I know within me that I can do it. I know that I have the competence. I know that I have the character. And I know I have the capacity to take Umuanee to the next level. My administration is going to be free for all. I have always been somebody that believes in power devotion. I am like an open book. I am not someone that is interested in power grabbing. I am someone that is ready to offer services, and I am someone that is ready to listen and succumb to a very superior opinion whenever anyone is dictated, not minding the quota where that is coming from. And I can say, like I've always said, I am a leader that is going to lead from the front at all time and not from the back for whatever reason that may happen. So like I said, bro, here is me, and I'm sure that by the grace of God, come April 2021, Umuanee is going to be better than we met it. Thank you.